Hey, morning people. So today we're going to do something a little different this time. No running videos or whatever for now, although this is related to running. We're going to look at my shoes rotation. So let's go. Alright, just flip this around. Okay, so this is my rack of shoes. I'm going to talk about most of my running shoes. I mean, all of them. But I might talk about the walking shoes because they might be relevant. Okay, let's quickly talk about the most basic shoes, my walking shoes. So for most of my walking, I actually use barefoot shoes like these. Let's take one pair out. So these are barefoot shoes. They are taupe, right? They are not really related to running, but I do use them for walking during the course of my work every day, and my rationale is that barefoot shoes help to strengthen your feet, the muscles, the tendons, whatever, helps you to deal with having to be on your feet. The soles of your feet will be strengthened and everything, I think. Anyway, that's the rationale. Helps you with footwork and everything. So yeah, those are my atypical walking shoes. Let me put that back. And then that's my normal walking shoes. I have really old ones right here where they have no special characteristics, and I recently bought a new pair. This would be, the brand would be Power, right? It's not a very well-known brand. It's commonly found in Singapore, and I bought them in Bata, right? They offer some cushioning for days when I've ran some and I needed some cushioning and comfort, right? But now let's move on to the proper running shoes. This pair is actually pretty much my OG running shoes. I got them 5 years ago from the army using credits, so I practically got them for free. So the design is old, they're from 5 years ago, so they don't really hold up as well anymore. Looking at this, the midsole outsole is really thin, so they don't offer much comfort. And that's to be expected since they are for 2.4 kilometer runs, and I guess the army selected for this kind of shoes. They are lighter, good for speed work and everything, but they don't offer much comfort. I guess they're cheap also, right? So I've been using them for 5 years, and as you can see, that's the reason why I retired this pair into walking shoes, right? They used to be running shoes, but now I just use them for walks because, yeah, the outsole is worn down. The inside is all worn down right now. I wouldn't be taking this out on a run. Although it will accompany me to events, I'll just wear this and walk in and then change to my racing shoes. Now let's move on. Now for everyday running, I have these 3 pairs right here. Okay, starting with this pair. This pair is also from the army as well, bought with credits again. They are more recent. I think I got them like 3 years ago or something, right? New Balance, right? Slightly more recent design, slightly thicker outsoles, still usable, which is why I've kept it. I haven't used it much in before this year, so yeah, that's why it's still in relatively good condition. The soles still kind of like will shift and even come out a little bit if it gets too wet though. Well, yeah, but since I'm using it for everyday running, it won't get too wet these days. That's my New Balance shoes. Now, even more recently, I got 2 new pairs of everyday running shoes. Let me just take them out first. These 2 pairs are actually from ANTA, the so-called Nike of China, right? So I've only recently bought them. I've only worn them like maybe twice per pair, right? So let's talk about this pair first. Now this pair, right, I bought as running shoes, but it's only later on that I saw from the label of the boxers that they were cross-training shoes. But I've ran in them and they don't feel inappropriate to run in. It's very cushy, very plushy, right? So it's very comfortable, right? So it's not our place. Even if they label it as cross-training, it could just be a label, I don't know. But anyway, if I go to the gym, I guess I'll be wearing this pair since it's considered a cross trainer. Now, for this pair, it's a pair of running shoes, even thicker midsole, right? So it's plushy, comfortable. Yeah. Now, these two pairs do aggravate my calluses though. The problem is somewhat solved with sports tape on my calluses, but not entirely. At least for this pair right here, the blue ones. Yesterday I ran in them 4.75 kilometers. There's still some pain in my calluses. So yeah, I guess in terms of comfort, they're pretty average, right? So those are my everyday running shoes. I hope to use them more though, but I only use them for easy runs, so only once a week. But I might change that to maybe twice a week so I can get more use out of them. If not, I'll only be using one pair once every 3 weeks, which is which is not very good, right? I won't be using them much. I guess if anything, this shows that I need to run a little more. Now let's move on to the fun part, the more expensive shoes, starting with this pair. Now for this pair, I bought 1 week before my first 10k race, so that's somewhere in March, I think, right? This would be the On Cloudmonster 2, right? I actually bought them thinking that they are super shoes. The shop assistants told me they are super shoes, and I wore them as super shoes. But as it turns out, they're quite heavy, even if they are extremely comfortable, plushy, stable, right? Let's take it out first. Yeah. So as you can see, has the highest stack height out of all my shoes. It has Cloud tag on it, right? So it's comfortable, no doubt, just that they are not fast. They have speedboard installed in it, just that it's not visible down here, right? Because the Cloudmonster 2 has eliminated the slit underneath. But yeah, they are not fast, even with the speedboards. They don't use carbon plates, but a special technology called speedboard. So since they're not fast, I can't use them as super shoes meant for speed. So these days I use them for long distance running, right? And it fulfilled this job really well, since it's the most comfortable pair of shoes I have out of all of this, right? Even at 9.5 kilometers, which I ran last Sunday, I felt no pain in my feet, in the soles of my feet. So it did its job really well. I might consider wearing this for my first half marathon this year though, because I might just prioritize comfort, stability over speed, but we'll see, right? So that's my long distance shoes. Now, lastly, this pair. This is the very first super shoes I've ever bought in my entire life this year. Bought it like 1 or 2 weeks after my first 10k race. So I got them from China for after discount, after coupons that discounted even further, I bought them for $160 Singapore dollars. So that's $120 US, real cheap, right? I got the best deal of my life. So these are the Qiaodan Feiying Plate 1.5, and it's translated to Jordan Flying Shadow Plate 1.5. So these guys pretty much are similar to Western super shoes like Nike Vaporfly, was it? I'm not very strong with I'm not very knowledgeable with running culture and shoes, but yeah, these guys are the real deal. They have all the features of super shoes: thick foam, very soft foam, carbon plates, right? And the upper is really breathable. You can see my finger right through it, very breathable, right? So they are light as well, like at the low end of 200 grams, I think 210 something or whatever, can't remember, right? But definitely lighter than my long distance running shoes, which I think is slightly over 300 grams. Okay, yeah, so I've tried them on, and they do work. They are light, they are responsive. I was able to run faster in them, but they hurt a lot. These guys are really cruel as taskmasters, but they get the job done. They gave me blisters on my arc. They inflame, they agitate my calluses. But those problems are solved with sports tape on the soles of my feet, on the agitated areas, and sometimes I wear double socks as well. Right? But I think with sports tape I won't need double socks. Right? So that's my lineup so far. In the future I might get more shoes, like particularly for these super shoes. They're responsible for my tempo runs, my interval training, and racing. So unfortunately, these guys, even though they're basically the elite of my run up, they are doing most of the work. Not every week, but yeah. So I might consider getting running shoes for tempo runs and things like that. Right, so because considering that carbon plated shoes don't last as long, so I heard, I think I should try to give this guy a break. Yeah, so that's my lineup for my running shoes. Right, so I'll see you guys next time.